know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Apologies for starting the news behind time. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now the news in full. Moving on in the news, the Senate and Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to take urgent measures against the renewed terrorist attack in the northeast. Zulum advised the president to rely more on the professional judgment of the military rather than political voices in the fight against Boko Haram insurgents. The Senate, on its part, called for concerted action against the terrorists and also recommended the establishment of a military base in the Hong local government area of Adamawa State. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has warned that security and health challenges facing the nation's capital require urgent national intervention. Wike, while speaking during the budget defense before the Senate, emphasized that the FCT's role as seat of government and host of diplomatic missions demands coordinated security approach. The minister announced the ongoing collaboration with federal security agencies, including the Office of the National Security Advisor and the Department of State Services. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, has announced plans to conduct a special mop-up examination for candidates who missed the recently concluded 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. JAM Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede disclosed this in a statement in Abuja during a meeting with key stakeholders to address challenges encountered during the exercise. Kike Lomo Okere completes the report.
JAM Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede explained that the mop-up would accommodate the estimated 5.6% of the candidates who missed their exams for any reason. According to him, even those who missed the earlier exam due to absence will be given this opportunity. He stated that it's not extraordinary. It's standard practice in education to make up for missed exams, provided it's not abused.
We had also taken decision immediately that all those who miss that examination for whatever reason, the 5.something% that or 6% that missed the examination, we will during mop-up. You know, we normally do annual mop-up throughout the country for those for one reason or the other. So we will package them with the mop-up. And it is for that reason we have also decided that even those who missed the earlier initial exam, who are absent, we will extend this opportunity to them to also receive.
Oloyede also addressed the emotional strain experienced during the announcement of the UTME result, clarifying that it was not a sign of weakness but a reflection of responsibility. He condemned attempts to politicize the incident, dismissing conspiracy theories and ethnic profiling. He criticized public commentators for misrepresenting the purpose of UTME, noting that it is a placement test, not an achievement test. Oloyede stressed that high UTME scores alone do not guarantee admission, as other criteria like post-UTME and institutional assessment are also considered.
I must thank WAEC sincerely Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, NECO, ABU, and others who rallied round to make it possible. You know, like I said, WAEC had agric science. We quickly had to move in, see how we can reschedule in a way that's what minimized the issue of clash, because we had to work together immediately throughout the night.
The registrar thanked stakeholders for their support during the exam period and commended candidates for their resilience in the face of the challenges. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajagbaamila, has called on administrators of public universities in Nigeria to explore ways of expanding their global reach and attracting international students. He made a suggestion while delivering a keynote address at the maiden edition of the Osun State University Annual Lecture in Osogbo titled Interrogating Funding of Education, Global versus Nigeria Perspectives. Uyi Agbomofuigbe has details.
Of the governing councils for tertiary institutions in the country are gathered here to deliberate on issues affecting the universities, polytechnics, and other higher institutions in the country. According to the chairman of the forum, Akim Babajide, members of the governing councils have a critical role to play for the stabilization and improvement of the quality of learning in the institutions. He says the objective is to see how members of the council can contribute to the growth and development of the institutions they govern.
We must ask ourselves the following questions. How do we align institutional goals with national priorities? How do we foster innovations in governance and learning? How do we ensure that our university, polytechnics, college of education are not only surviving but thriving?
Keynote speaker Professor Olukayode says the issues to be deliberated upon by members at this conference includes financial autonomy, financial and administrative accountability, as well as how to align institutional goals with national priorities.
You have to create networks that will attract additional resources and support to the institutions. And get this, you have to hold the provost, you have to hold the rector, you have to hold the vice chancellor and university management accountable.
President Tinubu had in July last year appointed members of governing councils for tertiary institutions in the country with a mandate to add to the stability of the institutions, a task this forum says should not be treated with levity. For Global Television,
the House of Representatives has resolved to convene a stakeholders conference to deliberate on the operational challenges and prospects of the Barrow Inland Port. The motion, jointly sponsored by former Deputy Speaker Honorable Idris Wase and 10 other lawmakers, seeks to produce a comprehensive policy document to guide the port's operationalization. Godwin Sunday has details.
Road Safety Commission was also placed under legislative scrutiny following a motion by Honorable Afam Ogene demanding accountability on revenue generated from the issuance of driver's licenses nationwide.
Observes that the Federal Road Safety Commission is alleged to use its Information Processing Center for warehousing data for driver's licenses and manipulating it to sideline and shortchange the state's boards of internal revenue.
Meanwhile, the House has considered the report of its Committee on Population regarding a bill to repeal the National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) Act of 2007 and enact a new law establishing the National Identity Database and National Identity Management Commission. Godwin Sunday for Global Television News.
Over now to the House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the non-payment of 32,000 naira monthly palliatives to pensioners. Nearly 2 years after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved the intervention following the removal of fuel subsidy. Queen Agaba reports.
The resolution followed a motion moved by the Deputy Chief Whip of the House, Honorable Ibrahim Isiaka, who expressed concern over the federal government's failure to disburse the approved funds to pensioners for 6 consecutive months.
The House herefrom resolves to urge the federal ministries of finance and humanitarian and poverty reduction, the Accountant General, the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, and other relevant agencies to immediately implement all approved pension increments without any further delay.
Also at plenary, Honorable Nnamdi Ezechi from Delta State raised a motion of urgent public importance, decrying the poor state of healthcare infrastructure in the Federal Capital Territory.
Convinced that the strategic review and upgrade of health infrastructure in the FCT, along with the comprehensive recruitment drive for medical professionals, will address the urgent needs and ensure better health outcomes.
He therefore called for the declaration of a state of emergency in the sector and an investigation into the status of health care facilities within the FCT. For Global Television, Queen.
The Southeast Caucus of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has appealed to the party's National Working Committee and other stakeholders to retain its nominee for the position of National Secretary. Speaking at the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja, Senate Minority Whip Senator Osita Igwu announced the region's unanimous decision to nominate former National Youth Leader Sunday Ude Okoye for the role. Godwin Sunday tells us more.
The party has been grappling with internal divisions since the 2023 elections. Tensions rose further in December 2024 after the Southeast Zonal Caucus and a lower court backed Ude Okoye's nomination. While the PDP Governors, Board of Trustees and the National Working Committee accepted the decision, Senator Samuel Anyanwu took the matter to the Supreme Court. But on March the 21st, the court dismissed its challenge, ruling that internal party matters are not for the courts to decide. Senator Ungo called on the party leadership to consider the Southeast request, citing similar precedents. He emphasized that the caucus is not issuing demands but making a respectful appeal aimed at fostering unity and growth within the party.
To look at a zone who has been the bedrock and backbone of the PDP, a zone who has delivered all the National Assembly members, all governors to the PDP in the past, who is eager to redeem his past glory. We are praying that the request of this zone should not be jettisoned. Let us look at it based on the point of its merits. Let it be a stepping stone in our urge and our drive to reposition our party.
In his response, the acting national chairman, Umar Damagu, represented by the Deputy National Chairman South, Taufik Arapaja, assured that the National Working Committee will operate strictly in accordance with the party's constitution.
Decide on the way forward, and that decision will be forwarded to the NEC. So, no problem. We will look at it. We will do justice. We will do our best.
He further stated that after deliberations with National Working Committee members, the resolutions reached will be presented to the National Executive Committee NEC at their upcoming meeting. Godwin Sunday for Global Television News.
Amid rising concerns over recent defections, the People's Democratic Party PDP Senate Caucus has affirmed that the party remains united and steadfast. At a press conference after plenary, Senate Minority Leader Senator Abba Moro, together with other PDP lawmakers, emphasized that the party continues to be the strongest opposition force in Nigeria. Queen Agaba completes the story.
PDP senators gathered at the Senate Press Center to reassure Nigerians that despite recent challenges and the defection of some members to the All Progressives Congress APC, the party remains solid and cohesive. Senator Moro, the caucus leader, expressed confidence in the reconciliation efforts led by former Senate President Bukola Saraki. He assured that the committee tasked with addressing internal grievances would work diligently to restore unity within the party. He urged all PDP members to stay committed, underscoring that despite its difficulties, the PDP remains the party to beat.
Contrary to the insinuations that the PDP is in shreds and at the verge of collapse, the party remains very, very strong and will continue to work stronger. The Senate caucus of the PDP, therefore, urges all our team members to remain resolute in their commitment, dedication, and loyalty to the party. The caucus believes that a series of activities lined up by the leadership of the party will throw up a new lease of life and leadership in the party that will make it very competitive in future elections.
Additionally, Senator Moro noted that the PDP is capable of forming coalitions when necessary to strengthen its political positions.
Of all the opposition parties, the PDP's umbrella is big enough to accommodate all persons desirous of coalition. The People's Democratic Party, therefore, should drive the coalition when and if it becomes necessary.
To date, 3 lawmakers from Kebbi State and 1 from Delta North have defected from the PDP to APC, alongside other defections from various political parties. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting.
In a bid to revive and boost the production of locally made textile materials, the House of Representatives has resolved to urge the federal government to regulate the importation of foreign textiles into the country. Here is Ogochukwu Mobono's report.
The House of Representatives also called on the Federal Ministry of Power to collaborate with the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investments to provide essential infrastructure, particularly stable power supply, to local textile manufacturing companies to enhance productivity quality. Additionally, the House has urged the Federal Ministries of Finance, Industry, Trade and Investment alongside other relevant agencies to support the local textile industry by providing soft loans and improving access to credit facilities through the Bank of Industry. These resolutions followed the adoption of a motion moved by Honorable Garba Muhammad during plenary.
Concerned over the significant decline in the textile industry over the last 2 decades, resulting in the layoff of thousands of workers from companies like Kaduna Textile, Kano Textile, Aba Textile, United Nigeria Textile, Fast Spinners, among others. Also concerned that the discovery of oil in Nigeria resulted in decreased cotton production, a crucial
We apologize. That report will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. Wife of the Zamfara State Governor, Huraya Lawal, has appealed to Governor Dauda Lawal to approve 6 months of paid maternity leave for all working mothers in both the public and private sectors. She made the appeal during a courtesy visit to the governor at the Government House, Gusau. Kabir Hassan has details.
This is an advocacy visit to the office of the Zamfara State Governor by the State First Lady, Huraya Lawal, and other stakeholders. She says granting 6 months of paid maternity leave is not just a policy, but a gesture of love and vital investment in collective future of children. The wife of the governor noted that the 6 months maternity leave policy is to improve employee retention, increase morale, and healthier babies.
This isn't just a policy. It's a labor of love for our women, our children, and our future. The early months of a child's life are sacred, filled with precious bonding, life-giving breastfeeding, and the vital healing of both mother and baby.
The UNICEF representative, Kulusanda, emphasizes that advocating for 6 months of paid maternity leave for nursing mothers aligns with the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, and the United Nations standards, which promotes the well-being of mother and child.
UNICEF also aligns with this policy of advocating mothers to have time enough to breastfeed her child, time enough to take the child for routine immunization.
Governor Dauda Lawal commended the First Lady for her advocacy and assured that the request will be thoroughly deliberated with the members of the State Executive Council. He affirmed his administration commitment to supporting policies that directly benefit citizens.
You know, what is worth doing well. So myself and my colleagues here will look into your request and we'll dissect it, digest it, and then come up with a framework on how it is going to be. Whether it is going to be the 6 months, whether it is going to be less, but it's something that we will look into, and I can assure you we'll come back to you within the shortest possible.
The governor also expressed appreciation to the delegation and development partners, including UNICEF, for their continued support and collaboration with the state government. Hassan Kabir reporting for Global TV.
You are watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, Nigeria-Morocco $25 billion gas pipeline tops Tinubu's priority project. Details coming shortly, plus sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, it's Midday News on Global Television. And on foreign scene now, here is Uyagbomofwegwe's update from the foreign scene.
Finance ministers and central bank governors have been mingling ahead of the G7 meeting in Banff, in the Canadian province of Alberta. Canada has sought to send a firm message with a Ukrainian minister's presence at the finance leaders gathering, where war in Ukraine and economic turmoil from U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs remain top of mind. In meetings through Thursday, leaders will discuss global economic conditions and seek a common position on Ukraine. Elsewhere, U.S. President Donald Trump has unveiled new details on his plan for a Golden Dome missile shield system to protect the country against attacks.
Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space. I'm also pleased to report that the One Big Beautiful Bill will include $25 billion for the Golden Dome to help construction get underway. That's the initial sort of a down positive.
President Trump has announced the new details and initial funding in the Oval Office of the White House, with geopolitical rival China accusing Washington of undermining global stability. He said $25 billion has been earmarked for the project, which he noted could eventually cost a total of around $175 billion and would be operational in about 3 years. Beijing hit back, denouncing Golden Dome as a threat to international security and accusing the United States of fueling an arms race. Uyi Agmofwebe for Global TV News.
In sports stories now, Kadri Haruna reinforced his reputation as one of the table tennis elite with a sensational 4-2 win over Germany's Benedikt Duda to reach the round of 16 of the 2025 ITTF World Championship in Doha, Qatar. The victory sealed at the Leicester Hall ensures he's the last African standing in the men's singles following the exit of Egypt's Omar Asser in a second round. Despite entering the tie with a 1-2 head-to-head record against the left-handed Duda, Haruna delivered a composed and strategic performance. Now that's it on Global TV Midday News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.